face. Always thought Natalie Portman would have my mixed race. Kid, now she preggo, I'll never know how those.
So I just saw some footage from your hometown show in London.
Yeah.
And that just like the vibe in there looked incredible. You had people crowd surfing, jumping on stage. Like, how did that feel to come back home for that?
Yeah, it's cool, man. Like, my hometown has always been really supportive. You know, the weird thing about playing at home is, like, you never really know if you're playing well because, like, people are just going crazy and diving off the stage and stuff. So, you know, you're not ever really sure if you're giving a great performance or anything, but people are always having a great time. So it's cool. That's
great to hear. And, you know, coming from London, I know you said, like, it's like growing up, you said halfway between, you know, Detroit and Toronto.
Yeah.
You know, we're, you know, Michigan hip hop show. So we're wondering, like, what kind of impact did, you know, Detroit's music scene have on you, you know, coming up as an MC?
Yeah, I mean, wow, like, Detroit music, like, it's got one of the greatest legacies, you know, in the world, for sure.
Right.
Everything from, you know, hip-hop-wise, from, of course, like, Dilla, you know, Eminem, and to the guys killing it today, like, you know, Elzai and Black Milk, and etc. And then, you know, aside from hip-hop, you also have all the soul music and the Motown. And so, yeah, I mean, the legacy of music in Detroit is, like, incredible.
We saw that you had a cipher with Janelle Monáe, and
yeah.
How was that
for
you?
She was actually the first person we interviewed on our show.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, we...
yeah, I mean, she's incredibly talented, as you know. She's just unbelievable, yeah. We opened a show for her in Toronto in March, and then her and her crew were hosting this party, this after party, and so yeah, that footage of that little freestyle session was like at close to 5 a.m. Like they were just on stage, just rocking this after party for, you know, 100, 200 people, and yeah, I mean they were just going. And just kept on going to the point where it was nothing but a beatbox and their crew just freestyling. So that was like a super fun night.
That's crazy. And speaking of ciphers too, I also caught that the CBC footage with like you and just like a who's who of Canadian hip hop. You know, like Chaos, Socrates, Cardinal. What was that experience like rocking with everyone there?
Yeah, that was like you know, we were talking about, you know, Detroit influence. I mean, that's like Canadian influence. That's, you know, I'm not sure how familiar you are with those cats, but, you know, that's everybody in our national kind of scene with the notable exception of Drake. That event was literally our entire hip-hop history.
Right.
Yeah.
Cardinal
was there, Chaos, Kanon. You might be familiar with them. Socrates, you might be familiar with.
Yep.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, that was a really special event for all those guys involved, and for me especially, like, you know, I'm definitely like one of the sort of younger cats in that group, so it was a real honor.
And it seemed too like everyone was really coming off the top, just kind of just feeling it too. It was just good to see.
Yeah, we were all just kind of in a good mood, and then I don't know if you saw the footage of Northern Touch. That's like a kind of like an anthem in Canada. Like, if you were to go to a hip-hop jam in Canada, you would recognize every song, but, you know, 1 in 20 would be some, like, Canadian track that you guys wouldn't necessarily know, but everybody in the club would be wilding out, and that was definitely the song. So it was cool that they did that one last.
So one thing I was really interested in hearing about is kind of how you're able to strike this balance between, you know, pursuing school and other things in life and your music, because I know it's something that a lot of up-and-coming artists struggle with, and it seems like something you've been able to kind of approach, you know, with a nice touch to it. So I was wondering if you had any advice for people in the same situation. Like,
the advice I always say is, like, if you can do both, do both, you know, as much as you can push yourself, like, especially, like, you know, if you're 20, 21, it's like, keep as many doors open for yourself as you can, you know?
Right.
And, you know, use all that energy that you have to, like, pursue it all. You know, if at some point music is taking up all of your time, then go for it, you know? But yeah, it never hurts to keep as many doors open as you can. That's always the advice I give.
I'm also really interested to hear about what this experience, you know, touring in the U.S. has been, you know, given your recent, you know, acclaim with the Juno Award, and how has it been like? What are kind of challenges of translating your music and your following in Canada to the U.S.?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, it's very different, right? Like, when I play in the States, usually it's, you know, when I have the chance to open up for someone, because I don't really have a big enough fan base to do my own shows in most cities. So it's cool to get to, like, play for new people, but it's, like, a totally different from playing a show in Canada where, you know, you have the first 5-6 rows, everybody is rapping, like, every word, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's cool. It's a challenge to, like, kind of get back in that mindset of, like, how do you keep things fresh and entertaining for people who, A, don't know your music, and B, for the most part, didn't come to see you. So,
right.
So that's, like, a fun kind of challenge. Yeah, but then, you know, the cool thing is you always also have at the shows people that have been following you off the internet or whatever for who knows how long, maybe 1 year, maybe 4 years, you know, and they know your whole catalog, and so it's cool to be able to meet some of those people who, you know, even if nobody else that they know has even heard my name, you know, they're like, hey, like they ride for you, and it's like cool, like it's cool to get to meet some of those people.
Right. I feel like a lot of, like, the way I found out was really just word of mouth. One of my good friends was just kept bringing up your name, you know, every time we talk about music. And I was like, you know, I really need to check this dude out. I think it's interesting because compared to some other Canadian artists, you know, like Drake has the Lil Wayne cosign. You have like, you know, Socrates down with Redman, and like, you know, all these different people kind of having to reach out, like Cardinal again with Akon. Like, what is it like just coming, you know, grassroots as opposed to, you know, that affiliation?
Yeah, I mean, that's all I know. You know, that's kind of the way I came up in Canada. You know, I just sort of do my thing, and it's always just sort of been like with fans, and like you said, with people kind of spreading the word. And so fortunately, that's worked up here. And you know, if I can just get a chance to do some more work down there, hopefully I can do the same, and just keep making more music and getting better and better. And you know, if I can improve and keep getting better and better, and having more chances to get my music out there, hopefully I can do the same thing. You know, I'm not overly concerned because, you know, I like working hard, and I like you know, I like what I do, so I have no trouble, like, I have no qualms with working hard and pushing out on that kind of level. Right.
And as far as upcoming work, like, you know, we've been pushing the TSOL album, you know, with videos and singles and everything. Is there something else in the making now that you want to tell us about? Or
you know, I think after this touring is done, which will be around like mid-May, I think I'll just be kind of like thinking about new material, to be honest with you. I think I'll be like doing a lot of writing and doing some different sessions in the summer, and kind of working on the next thing, which is cool because usually it takes me a little bit longer to kind of start to feel like I'm in a mindset to work on a new project, but I feel like I can do it.
That's good to hear.
What would you say inspires you during the process of making a project? Like, what gets you started and really inspired?
That's a good question. For me, it's been different things on different albums. You know, TSOL, a lot of the inspiration for that was just kind of like being in a position to make another album, and feeling like, okay, dope, like I get to do what I love, like let me try and kind of just push my talent and push my kind of capacity for making music to its limit, and like kind of honor that opportunity by doing something that I think is worthwhile. The album before that was like a whole kind of concept that was very kind of present in my mind, and sort of that concept was the inspiration. So with every album, it's been different, you know, and I think it'll just be interesting to see what sort of like driving me with this one.
That's cool. And I was also interested in knowing about like your current inspirations. I know you said before, like, you know, Common and Outkast growing up being, you know, inspiring. But are there any like newer artists that you're feeding off of their energy?
You know, Jay Electronica is a rapper I like a lot right now. Odyssey. You know, those are two of my favorite sort of guys that have come out in the last like couple years. What else am I feeding off of? And then you know, I'm just noticing in general in hip hop, it's like there's a lot of a certain vibe where guys are really kind of I don't know. It's like a lot of kind of straight talk. I have no other way to sort of describe it besides like I don't know. There's a sort of vibe of it's hard for me to put it into words. But anyways, I like it. You know, I feel like a lot of kids are coming out and they kind of have their own voice and they're doing their own thing, and that's inspiring for me too.
You mean kind of like people kind of speaking from their own experience? Like I know there's a lot of rappers using their full names too, just like their own name. You know, just like
exactly. People using their own names, speaking from their own experience. It's sort of like I don't know, like people are just like rapping really slow and really straightforward. You know, and I like that. It's cool.
That's dope, man. So yeah, I mean, we're about to wrap up. Once again, if there's anything you want to let people know about upcoming tour dates or where they can catch you online.
You can check out shadk.com. If you're on Facebook, which I'm sure you are, it's facebook.com/shadk. And you can keep up on any info there. And hopefully I'll be in Ann Arbor sometime. I heard Ann Arbor is dope for shows.
Definitely, yeah, man. We got to get you out here. Get you at the Blind Pig. So now we're about to get into Lucky Ones, one of my favorite cuts off the album. Is there anything you want to say about this track? You know, let people know.
Yeah, this one's got Brendan Canning from Broken Social Scene on it, and Lisa from Broken Social Scene. That's like a kind of seminal indie rock group up here. And my man Kamau is on the third verse too. He's very ill. He's done a lot of work with Chaos. Very talented, very good dude, well respected in Toronto. So that was a fun track to work on with all those different people from different like musical backgrounds and all definitely representing Toronto well.
Nice. All right, so once again, this is Shad K, Lucky Ones. Thank you, man, for calling in. We definitely appreciate the music and everything.
No problem, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
I can't derail, I train hard, then relax on tracks. Keep the brain sharp, hitting like an axe on wax. Axe never touch trees, meaning I don't puff weed, but I hope to plant much seeds before I must leave. Believing that hope grows, even in this stone cold.
Change the rest of your life, take you on a natural high. Good girls never give it up on the first night. I know. I'm told I'm awfully bold. Don't blame me if it is so. Good girls never give it up on the first night. Oh, give it to me, girl, give it to me. Give it to me, girl, give it to me. Give it to me, girl, give it to me. Give it to me, girl, give it to me.
Oh, you say you want it, huh? All right. Well, let me just clear one thing, 'cause it's clear y'all at